What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on? I want to do this video, basically just give you updates on this group and a new group that I have started, the Deep and Profound Poetry, uh, which is on early morning Martin Luther King Day, which I'm doing this video. But let's get to the updates. The updates on the group is you're seeing a whole lot of intellectual poetry to show you in the direction that we're going with this new group. And Jacqueline, I see you. I see you. Thank you. Thank you. And we're taking this intellectual poetry that I have done and promoting it. One reason I've been wanting to do it and bring it out, and another reason is there's a book that's going to pretty much verify it, and just on tune. Okay, you want to come along and talk with me, or what's up? But anyway, to get back to this, the deep and profound poetry is the extenuation of what I'm going to be doing, and the direction I'm taking with the knowledge in the intellectual poetry for us to promote the upcoming book also, which I was doing that in the first place way before the erotic poetry. But on the other hand, I've been writing erotic poetry for a long time, but never thought it was going to be something that's going to be so important now. But I'm looking. Hey, you want to add? Come on. Yeah. Hey, we can talk together. Most people, they get scared of me when we get to talking. We come on live together and they just disappear, leave me. So what y'all want to do? Uh-oh. Then I don't believe they accepted the invitation. Ain't that sad? I won't bite. I won't bite. Okay. Well, let's see. Is there anybody else wanna talk to me or join me? I don't see any. So I'm just going on into my next subject. I think I put out the updates on deep orgasmic love poetry, and now I'm supposed to go into the Martin Luther King Day, which we going into now. And thank you. You love my poetry is very deep. Hey, I love it. Is you deep enough to join me on this video that I'm talking now? Is you willing to join me? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, you don't. Okay, you don't know what happened. Try it again, and let me try to add you again. You know. Okay. But anyway, I don't want to get too far off into this thing, or off into the distraction, but it's a good distraction. I love it. But back to the Martin Luther King um, conversation. When I learned about Martin Luther King, it was through the colonial education system, which um, it gave you the information that it kind of made you shy away from him, or you looked at it as, you know, he was a Uncle Tom kind of a status. But now, if you go and do your own research on Martin Luther King, you'll find out that he's a very brilliant man and a very intellectual researcher, and he knows a lot of things that he didn't reveal in a lot of ways in his agenda. Why he didn't reveal it? Because of it would take away from what he was trying to do. And let me break down what I'm trying to what I'm trying to say to you. Okay, a lot of people talk about comedic spirituality and this and that, and that is very important. Which that's a extenuation of black people's and African history. Okay, if you go and research deeply on Martin Luther King, he, in his own papers in the 40s, I want to say, that he acknowledged that Christianity was influenced or came from Kemetic spirituality, which was from Kemet, which Kemet that today we know of is Egypt. And so, in the papers of Martin Luther King's writings, he tell you that he know that Christianity came from Kemetic spirituality, Kemet, which is Egypt. And so a lot of people ask, well, why, if he knows all this, why did he tell any of us, or why did he use it to push his agenda? Well, of course, he was raised as a Baptist preacher, and he preached, and he had the support of the Christians. And to deal with this situation that he was dealing with, he knew that Christianity was the main understandable vehicle for the black peoples that they will support. In the 60s, the great majority didn't know nothing about the Kemetic spirituality or this and that. So he knew if he went in that avenue, he would lose a lot of his support. And in the civil rights movement, he would most likely be replaced or this and that, because he wouldn't have the support that he need, and also as a Baptist minister, he will also probably get put out of the church, this and that, because they said, well, you talking this crazy stuff and nobody know nothing about. You see what I'm saying? So he utilized the vehicle of Christianity to make his statement in the sense that this is a love your neighbors, love your peoples, love everybody religion. So why are we not being loved? So he used it in exposing the hypocrisy. And and that's a very powerful strategy. Even though he used it in a non-violence with the I think he got the concept from Gandhi, which we find out later on in history or later on in time that Gandhi was pretty much a racist and didn't like black people himself. But he used the techniques of Gandhi, nonviolence, and the backing your way, or would you say boycotting the oppressors' stores and merchants that he used to pull money from you, and to use that same money he pulled from you to oppress you. So he pretty much put that strategy in place to boycott it, and they can't make no money, this and that. Then they have to come down and respect you to get their money back going, or negotiate with you for whatever you want so they can function. And he realized he realized the concept, you're not going to disrespect me, take my money, and then look at me as subhuman when you're taking my money to provide me power and comfort for their existence. And so that's a big reason why I honor Martin Luther King, and you got to look at his situation in the 60s, and don't get me wrong, there was Malcolm X, and I love him to death, and of course there was the rise of the Black Panther Party, and I love them to death too. Everybody had their ideology to try to correct this problem that haven't been corrected yet. You see what I'm saying? But they tried, and we had to keep going on doing the same thing. Now, one of the main things that I have recognized for as black peoples, for as income and money, we still have support black business owners, which is very important. May I emphasize, very important. And on the other end, we still got to deal with black business owners living up to the quality to serve the peoples. And I wish we had a organized black organization to make sure that these black owners, business owners, come up to the standards, to the need. Because I heard about that, and I'm pretty sure it exists, and that's something that needs to be addressed, no doubt about it. You know what I'm saying? But there's many black business owners that hold up to the standards and do their thing, So my whole thing is, if one ain't doing right, leave them and go to another. If you understand black concept and ideology and this and that and the universe, you understand that when one black person is failing you, the next black person will meet all your needs. Because it's all about, in the end, individuality of how that person run their business. And as me, as a previous and ongoing businessman, and I say previous because I've been involved with a lot of businesses and doing my thing, and I did it well. In the end, I sold a lot of products, but the products were mine, so it ended up going to the owner. So I had to get smart enough to say, well, okay, I need to create my own product. I need to create my own service to get the full benefit. And so that's the direction that I'm moving in and have moved in, far as the books and writing and this and that. So my whole point is that as entrepreneurs, and we need more entrepreneurs. I understand we all got a job, but job is just over broke. Job is just over broke. They give you enough money for you to come back. And business, free enterprise, is not based on that. So, and I tell anybody, you ain't got no money? Hey, hold on to your job. But it's up on you to manage your job and the money you get from the resources, to take the resources to create something that is going to benefit you in the end. Because when that job run out, or they decide to get rid of whatever reason, you still back to zero and have to climb up the ladder, as they say. But my whole thing, when I look at a business and research your business and this and that, and make sure it's in need by the people, whether it's a product or service, and then from that point, you want to nurture it like a baby, a newborn baby. And like a baby, you got to take care of it. Watch it grow and this and that. And just like a business, when you take care of it, it will take care of you in the end. But first, you got to do the most basic elements to make sure that business survive and grow. And then once it grow and become grown, you can leave work alone and it will take care of you. And see, that's a concept that we have to put in our mind to understand in a systematic way how the whole world runs and how the elements of the universe run. Now, I ain't gonna tell you the universe run like the whole world run that we dealing with, but I will say, to align ourselves with in harmony in the universe, we have to dissect the deceptions that's going on here on Earth and break through it the propaganda and lies, like always, and work in harmony to where everything else come in its own completion. Now, to make a good example of that is the Chinese. They come with a system of business in their mind. The Mexicans, they come with a system in mind, or should I say Hispanic, I'm steady upgrading. But they come with a system of business in mind. Japanese. And see, our problem is that us here, we've been broken from our knowledge or connection, because our knowledge and connection was business. What's the most powerful thing in the universe? Earth and universe. Business is the most powerful thing. So that type of knowledge. So we was broken from that, and we rewired to think in the nature of we need somebody to survive. Slave mentality, yeah. You need somebody. Oh, I can't make it without you to survive. The Hispanics, they know they don't need that. The Chinese, they know they don't need that. The Japanese, they know they don't need that. They're connected with their country and this and that, and blah, blah, blah. They know that business is the main subject. Business is the main preservation. They know I got to come here, sell what I got, make a product, take it back to my country. If not, take it back to the communities that we had established here in America that represent our country. You see what I'm saying? But with the process of the breaking down in humanity, delusional whipping of the mind, we have our mindset has not been designed to have business oriented thoughts that can help the community. Tulsa, Oklahoma. I mean, we had that. Tulsa, Oklahoma, and all around there, the Black Wall Street. We had that. With the movement of envious white folks and motivated by the KKK. See what I'm saying? And they burn our communities down, which we trust the communities because what? We thought at that time we was Americans. And because They knew we wasn't Americans, and they said, "Oh, wait a minute, you finna make all this wealth, money in our country when we ain't doing all that good ourselves, and you expect us to protect you while you doing so good, and the world is willing to make money or willing to buy and sell from you because you're doing so good?" That's all hell no. And they came in and lynched and bombed the community and killed everybody, you know. And then from then on, from that time on, they pushed the education that you're nothing. You can't trust one another. And, you know, and when we did, they pushed the dope and all that. And put the guns in the hands. Now get high and kill each other. You know what I'm saying? But if we don't know, that's one thing. If you don't know all this, that's I understand that. But if you do know all this, it gets deeper because they go to the level where you still can't trust one another. Everybody that looks like you can't be trusted and this and that. So there's a whole nother psychological warfare that's going on. And it's called media propaganda, that we so much look at and take as fact and never check into it. We just put it in our head and say, yeah, that's real, when it's not real at all. So this is what the intellectual portrait is all about, And I like to write on a lot of, especially historical events that nobody never knows about, or not trying to know about, or don't care to know about. When this is part of our history, man. This a woman. This is important stuff, And knowledge is passed down from history, from medical, from science, from self-interest. So tell me, why you don't want the knowledge that your ancestors passed down? I don't understand. And the only reason why they passing it down, or I'm passing it down, or anybody passing it down in our situation, is the only reason why they're passing it down is because they care. Because other than that, I haven't seen not one person to pass down anything when they don't care. Whether it's knowledge or money, if they don't care nothing about you, they will not pass it down. But because you care, just like a parent to a child that came out of her womb, because you care, you pass down knowledge to that child for best interest, for their protection, for their preservation. You see what I'm saying? So when somebody care, and you may not know they care until you analyze the knowledge that was given to you, and then you find out, okay, the knowledge is real, so they care. And in this day and time, I got to say that because so many people's passed down so many lies. Oh, but Lord, they writing. Okay, what's going on? I saw Martin Luther King and on strong man. He did the best he could when the times he was in. Yeah, he did. He did. And I'm gonna go to further say too is for the limited knowledge that he was working with, he did brilliantly. And I know a lot of people ask me like, limited knowledge, hey man, what you going with this? Martin Luther King had the internet in the 60s that we can tap and boom, and there go the information. Martin Luther King had to go to libraries, and which most libraries that was in full rulership of whites, you didn't find a lot of black knowledge there because they wouldn't allow that in their libraries. So he had to go to very scariest sources to find his knowledge to operate on, you know. And I knew it had been very scariest on the papers that he signed on and document on ISIS, Osiris, Horus. You don't find that kind of information laying around. That's Egypt or Egyptian information, which is black folks, which the Roman Catholic Church stole and built Christianity out of. That's that kind of information not going to be lying around in Western white colonial America because it exposes them. For centuries, they've been undermining that black folks didn't have no sense of this and that and blah, blah, blah. And then when you go back, disprove they was lying and everything, and what knowledge, history, medical, science, and spirituality come from. If you can control a person's mind, you can control their behavior, and that's what they was into. Especially if you're a conqueror, you want all that, because once you conquer a country, an individual, or wherever, then to maintain your conquering, that falls back on the education system, the offsprings. You got to push that lie to maintain control over the offsprings and this and that, to get a behavior that you know they're not threatened to you. And so that's exactly what they have done to us. Oh, and I'm going to look back in here. I see somebody, I see a couple people. I'm going to try to add and see if they want to join me Okay, okay, add another one. Okay, see. Hmm. Nobody wants to. Nobody wants to come talk to me. They want to join me. They scared of me. So, and I understand. I'm scared of myself sometimes. You know, but I'm very loving and conversational when and tolerance when I'm talking to other people. So y'all don't have no reason to fear me. You know, if I choose you to come on here, it's not to put you on the spot or talk crazy to you. This now I'm not about that. Unless you talk crazy to me, then I'm gonna, then hey. But respect got to be shown as given, and I'm gonna give you respect. You give me respect. But other than that, I'm an easy, cool guy. I don't mind talking and this and that. And it might be this phone. They might not want this phone. Might won't allow me for some reason to connect to my friend. Then again, it might be the site. They might not want me to talk with y'all one on one. You know what I'm saying? But I wish I could because it makes the conversation so much smoother because we can talk and this and that. You may have questions, versus me sitting here talking to myself in front of a phone, in front of millions and thousands, well, excuse me, thousands and millions of people, you know. And I bet they are listening, and I'm glad they are listening, and I appreciate it. They are listening. Now, would you wrote that? Do you want to join me online and let us talk? Can we talk? Can we have a conversation, a joint conversation online? Or are you scared of me too? Well, send me your invite. Is you sending it? Okay, I see you. I see your likes, and I love that. But it's you sending. It could be my ignorance. I could be okay. I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna send you. I'm sending you an invitation. You decline the invitation. I thought you was ready to talk to me. Oh my goodness. What right now? You tell me what's so scary about me, and I try to work on it because I don't like scaring people. You know, what's scary about me? I'm talking to you, Christina Rivers. I'm talking to you. What's scary about me? I'm everyday people. Well, if there's no fear, you talk to me and talk with your brother. Okay, let's do it like this then. Oh, you ain't got no fear either. Okay, I try to connect with you, and I couldn't get a hold of you. I'm trying to add you.
There's no fear.
Finally, finally, we got somebody that's willing to talk to me. They ain't got to show their
There's no fear.
it better not be no fear. I'm the most kindest and loving person. At least I thought. So how you doing?
No, there's no
Hmm.
sleepy. Sleepy.
Well, you supposed to be sleeping. It's late at night. I'm gonna get in this bed in a minute.
I mean, actually, I saw you there on live,
Yeah,
so I joined it because I saw Martin Luther King,
yeah.
and I wanted. That's what piqued my interest. And then I was listening to you talk, but you weren't getting into that, because that's why I stopped here to listen to what you had to say about Martin Luther King.
Okay.
But I was dozing off, you know,
Oh, you
and
said I wasn't getting
I,
getting into Martin Luther King. That what you said?
yeah, and that's why I came here to hear what you had to say about Martin Luther King.
And you didn't hear what I said about him?
No, I heard a little bit, but I'm sorry, I was dozing off, not because of you, it's because I just so fatigued,
Okay, I'm
you
glad
know.
I wasn't so boring that I put you to sleep. But
No.
I'm so glad that you just tired and this and that. But yeah, I talked to Mark. I talked about Martin Luther King, and
Right.
cause I got a little portrait that I'm coming out with him uh, today. But I think a lot of people's looking at the colonial viewpoint, they got a big misconception of him. He was a very deep person, and he was a person that really knowed a lot about comedic spirituality and this and that, but it wouldn't be functional during that time because the domination of Christianity and the support of Christianity. So he utilized that, but he gave respect to it, um, and so in a lot of circles, people want to look at him as, oh, he was Uncle Tom and this and that and blah blah blah, but really not. And then if you look at the last speakings of Malcolm X was willing to work with him, but because of his Islam and his first beginning, this and that, he attacked Martin Luther King because of that was the Christian and the Muslim clashing going there. You see what I'm saying? But as he became, Malcolm X became an independent thinker and overall organization, after they silenced him, he realized that this arguing between one of us is not bringing the benefits of the, I think at the time, 22 million black peoples that was suffering. And so he was more like put aside our ideologies and let's try to help our peoples first. You see what I'm saying? Because
Exactly.
as long as we arguing, nothing ain't getting done. You see what I'm saying? And I learned that in my study of white peoples in particular. Uh, you got Catholic, Catholic, Baptist, Presbyterian, uh, Joe Witness. I mean, they come in all kind shapes and fashions. But I noticed that if it came a black issue, they all come together as white folks. You know what I'm saying? They put aside their differences for its belief in God and this and that, and say, "Hey, look, we got to come together on this." You see what I'm saying? And I respect them on that. I just wish black folks do the same. You see what I'm saying?
Well,
Did you hear me?
yeah, I'm not dozing now. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people agree with what you're saying.
I
You
mean,
know, what Martin Luther King did, he did the best he did the best that he could do for in that time period to unify everyone
well, yeah,
and to do a nonviolent movement,
well,
because let's face it, we don't own any tanks or bombs or whatever.
no,
And so if we had came against him, if we had came against our oppressors and took action, more of us would have died. So he did the best that he could do
exactly.
and that in that time era.
Well, the point I was trying to make
It's
in that previous was not directly connected to Martin Luther King concepts. You see what I'm saying? That was a Scotty. I thought that we all should get together, just as the whites do when they come against us. We all should get together as blacks and put aside our division and come together as black people was good for
well, we
black peoples.
definitely need to do that, because
Yeah,
if
exactly.
we don't do it, we're going to die.
Now back
If we don't do it, we're going to die.
now black back to
Uh,
Martin Luther King. Oh yeah, I seen the position what he was talking about, you know. But on the other hand, you got to look at this. At the media source, if there's some folks coming in your house, just so happen to be white, they just happen to be white, that's going to kill you and your friends, your family, your kids, your husband, that's not. When I say that's not, the not is the government is not trying to help you to protect yourself. Then you got the right, because that's the same principle they have been raised on. You got the right to protect yourself instead of them coming in and slaughtering your house. Now, that's what the immediate Black Panther, Malcolm X, was basically talking about. And at this point, we're not talking about fighting the government, but we're talking about just having peace and security with our own neighbors. And so, if your neighbors are white and they thinking that they can do any and everything to you, there's a problem. If your neighbors are black and they think they can do any and everything to you, there's a problem. You see what I'm saying? So that's the
of
point,
course.
that really these organizations that was trying to make. But, and I say organization, I'm talking about the Black Panther Party in particular. But when you saw so many peoples of your own kind get slung or killed or slain or wherever, and no justice has been served for them, anything, you kind of feel like you need to go on and just try to protect yourself. You see what I'm saying? Now, on a world view or a world organizational setting, as Martin Luther King was talking about, yeah, oh yeah, I understand that. I mean, you can't fight off the military, the National Guard, the SWAT team, all that, because they got all of those agencies on their side. You see what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Yes.
Mm-hmm. So I can see that point what he's making and this and that. But on the other hand, if I got a little two-shooter, you know, old school brothers tell you this in the club, they're not going to sit there and watch you just kill them. Not long as they got the little two-shooter on, they got something to get them off of. You see what I'm saying? So on a personal level, this and that, we do have the natural right to protect ourselves. But on a national level, we do too, but we don't have the military force of this and that to fight them and this and that. So what they was really trying to do is appeal to the government to let the government put some protection that will help them. And instead of some kind of revolution starting and this and that that's going to conflict and this and that and will kill us, but it's going to cost the government money too. You see what I'm saying? To maintain order and this and that.
I am so sorry. Someone's connecting with me about my artist, and I'm so sorry. I just told them that I was talking on Facebook Live, but people don't seem to understand respect to just get back with me.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah, I go through that all the time. Who's your artist? Artist you
yeah,
talking about?
yeah. Well, what? Okay, okay. So we got okay. Okay. Now, you were saying, okay, I know that you write poetry, right? Okay. I don't know a lot about your poetry. I have to be honest. I haven't got into it that much. I'm so busy. And so I try to take my time to listen to a lot of various things.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when you pop Facebook Live, I tuned in to see what you were talking about. So you were talking about some poetry. So I don't know that much about your poetry. So you were getting into that.
Okay, I appreciate your honesty. You know, I would say from me to you, when you get time, read a little bit about it, and you know more about me and what I'm trying to do. Of course, I read. Well, excuse me. I write erotic poetry and intellectual poetry, historical, philosophical. You know,
Well,
you name it, reality, realistic. You know,
I know
scientific.
that I know that
You know.
I know there's erotic poetry that you write,
Mm-hmm.
but like I had said, I hadn't gotten into it. There was another brother that was doing the same exact thing. I forgot his name. Um, because like I said, I don't have a lot of time to just
Yeah.
study online and get into a lot of things that people are doing because I'm
Well,
so
yeah.
busy,
I
with
can
what I
relate. I
do
can
in
relate.
my,
It's a lot of good
you know,
writers out there that I'm part of groups, and I wish I can read their stuff. I'm so busy trying to get my stuff out that I don't have the
hmm
time to read what
right,
they write, and I feel a little guilty about
exactly.
it. But when I get a chance, I try to.
hmm
But like, when you read, when you're already doing a lot of stuff, reading is time consuming. It really is.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know, I will ask you what kind of phone you got. If you don't mind me
What kind
asking,
of phone?
huh?
What kind of phone?
Yeah, what kind of phone you got?
Oh God, I hate this
I
phone.
mean, you got an
It's a
iPhone? Is it
LK.
an iPhone
It's a LK7 Android.
or is it Android? Okay, because the reason
Yeah.
why I went in that direction, because I know that iPhones, when you come across poetry, you can drag your hand across it, and it will read that poetry for you. See what I'm saying? Now,
Yes. Yes.
Android, I don't know. I don't know. I know they do have a voice system on there, but I have an Android, but uh, I know they got an app called Out Loud. You know, that you can put it on there and it read it. But and the reason why I'm saying it saves you time. You can still get, if you can't see it with your eyes, you can hear it with your ears. And
Mm-hmm.
that's with any information I tell anybody. People say, well, I
Well,
know it's critical information, isn't that? I said, okay, you ain't have time to read it. I said, put on this app and hear it. Wherever, wherever the way the information gets to your head, it's in your head, whether it comes through your eyeballs or through your ears. But there's ways, and that's why I'm really heavy on the ebook, because I'm constantly doing my own stuff, this and that, and so it's hard for me to just sit down and read a book. And so I just, get it on ebook and just read it out loud where I can hear it. And my my ears take more information in than my eyes can ever could, because I'm an audio learner. You know,
I
that's
get that.
that's what a lot
I
of
get
a
that.
lot of people don't know about me. I always be an audio learner. When I write my poetry, I got to read it out loud or have a device to make it out loud, because it's got to sound right to me. But see, it makes sense because I'm also a musician. I'm also a musician, beat creator, songwriter. So everything is audio with me, and that's the way I operate.
Okay.
Audio.
I respect your craft.
Well, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And uh, I think when you read poetry, I think poetry should go smooth and this and that, like it's music. And so then, and that's why I tried to write it in that fashion, because just like we listen to music or rap or whatever it is, that smoothness kind of keep us going. You see what I'm saying? And kind of help follow us
You
through
talking about you talking about the flow of it?
the flow of it, most definitely.
Okay.
And if
Mm-hmm.
you read more of my poetry, you realize there's a unique flow of it,
Yeah,
a
okay.
critical flow of it, a flow of it that was put on purpose there to pull you in. And that's what I had 100 of my readers tell me. You got a flow that pulls you in, and I said, yeah, that was did on purpose. I want
Well, of course.
when you start reading, I want to make you think you just put on some rap music or some R&B music or this and that. I want that same flow. You see what I'm saying? And
Well, I'll definitely check it out because that's what my job is basically to critique and to listen to some good music or poetry, what have you. Because I'm actually an artist manager and my artists are from Africa. Somebody was just telling me about the track that I had been sending. I don't know if I sent you one, but I was randomly sending tracks to people because I need people to hear it, the music that my artist is doing. So, and I'll be doing more of that. Be doing more of that just to get some opinions of people. But I know that the work is very, very good. So when people hear it, they're thinking, well, who is that? The person that does it has a truckload of music that's just as good. So I have to get it out from Africa. I have to get it to various places internationally. So
so you in
I'm good at critiquing. I'm good at listening. I'm good at critiquing things and good at listening to know as a manager, as a record manager, to know if the music is going to go far. You know what I'm saying? So that's the same with me with anything that I listen to. So I am absolutely sure that your poetry is stellar. So I don't doubt that, and I will take some
Oh
time
yeah,
to listen to
no,
it.
yeah. Well, thank you, but
Hmm. Yeah.
I caught some things in my ear. Um, so what you saying? You're in Africa?
No, not yet. No, no, no. That's where my work is based
Your work is
in
based
Ghana,
in, in
based
Ghana?
right now in Africa.
Okay, so
Yes.
if you don't mind, where in the U.S. you at?
I'm in California.
Okay, California. Okay, cool. And
Hmm.
now another thing that caught my ear is you promoting music, this and
Yes,
that.
I have a team. I have a team there.
Okay, okay. I can see
Hmm.
because a lot of people's, that's music what I did first. And I got off into writing, and now a lot of people's coming around and saying, "Well, you need to put your poetry on some music," and and I'm like, "Well, yeah, that's my intention. I'm gonna do that because it's music motivated anyway. You see what I'm saying?" And
Hmm.
so, um, you know, uh, I, I got the studio one and the full studio, and so far I haven't had time to mess with it. But on the other hand, it's high technology, so it's gonna take time for me to break it down in my, the system of the studio to do my recording. So that's another thing that's been kind of messing with me. But I have recorded material before all this high tech stuff came along. And so now I'm kind of re-educating myself to the high tech to do the material in poetry and this and that I want to do. So, and I got a passion for it because, of course, I already told you I'm deep into music and this and that. And not only doing books, I don't mind having, CDs or digital music or whatever, because that's my first love is making songs and sound. Um, but to write it, became a surprise to me because I ain't never really thought of myself as an author, putting out books and this and that. That wasn't in the category at all. It just kind of in this expedition, it's kind of one of the things that just happened, you know. And it happened, and I love it, and I enjoy it, So I'm gonna keep that going too.
Well, that's great. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be watching. I'll be checking out some of your stuff. But I mean, I'm gonna go because I am sleepy,
Yeah, me too.
and I'll be checking on you.
Check, check on
So how
me,
things are
and
going.
and I'm telling
And
you, it's to message me. Do you have any question, this and that, when go through my material and this and that, and I'll be there for you. I've been watching you and seeing your name for a long time, so you already
oh,
got
you
an
have?
interest. Hmm.
You
Oh
have?
yeah, I keep note of everything. I'm very observation is the master. Especially when
Okay.
you dealing with networking and this and that, and then networking you watch and see what
Mm-hmm.
names keep popping up. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so that's
Okay.
very
That's
important.
cool.
You know what I mean, don't you?
Of course. And last I was being interviewed by my artist last week on Africa Works, Ghana Based Radio, every Friday. Tune in to Ghana Based. I'll send you the link if you're not doing anything. Our time here. Where are you from? I forgot where you're from.
I'm
I
in
mean, where do
I'm
you
in
live?
Little Rock, Arkansas.
Okay, okay then. So I'm assuming that the time is probably 3 hours before me. I don't know for sure, but I got to figure
Well,
out the time
we can
from
figure it out.
because Ghana is about it's about 9 hours difference.
Yeah, yeah,
It's about
that's
nine
about
hours
right.
difference from me. Yeah. So I don't know about Little Rock because I know you guys about what, 4 hours difference than me here in
Where you
California?
in California, right?
Yes,
So
Southern
it's probably
California.
about 4 hours, 3 to 4 hours.
Yeah.
And
I would love for you to tune into our Ghana-based radio. It's called Roots and Rhymes. It's called Roots and Rhymes on Fridays. But anyway, I'll send you a link. It's all on my timeline. I don't know if you ever get a chance to look at my timeline,
I probably
but
don't
I have been,
because I deal with so many
yeah,
people and stuff, and and
right, right.
promotion and this and that.
Hmm.
It's really hard for me to just go and personalize
I
a
do,
person
I do
page.
understand.
I see thousands of pages every day. You know,
Yeah, I understand.
you know what I mean,
That's the same with me.
and that's all
Same with me.
in the networking and trying to find the peoples who may be interested and those who not. You keep moving, and so that's how you have to do with this. You go through a
Hmm.
million peoples and you may find 10 out of the million. At least it feels that way.
Oh, okay. Well, hey,
That's how it work.
it is what
It
it
feel.
is. I
I ain't
mean,
gonna lie to you. It feel like that way. But of course, to be more than that. But it just feel like you're like, oh, and then the different attitudes and the different crazy peoples you run into and the rude and this and that. Uh, and it's crazy. I had one tell you said, "Leave me alone," and I'm like, "This is my first time bothering you. What you mean?" Well, I got a boyfriend and all that. I'm not interested in you. I'm just trying to promote my poetry and you know what I'm saying? And let you know there's a group out there. I'm not trying to have sex with you. I'm not trying to take you from your boyfriend. I'm not trying to do none of that. You know what I'm saying? But it's crazy.
that should be your introduction. That should be an introduction straight out.
Exactly. I'm, hey, you know, but I'm just giving you an example. All the personalities I run into, I'd be like, wow, is y'all
Well,
crazy?
you know but you know what you're all about anyway.
Do
So
I know what I'm all about? That's deep.
no, no. I said no. You know what you're about. You know what you're doing.
Do I know what
You
I'm
know, it's
doing?
just
Do
for
I
the.
know what
It's
I'm
just an
all about?
audience. No, I said
No,
you
I know
don't.
what you're saying, but I'm just questioning myself.
Oh, okay. Well,
Hey, I'm
try.
heavy.
Please try to know
I'm
yourself.
heavy in psychology, so I had to throw it out there.
Well,
And it's funny.
that's a
It's
good
funny.
question
I
because
like you.
a lot of people don't. A lot of people don't
Well, you
know thyself.
exactly, but you already know that I'm deep into sense of humor. You see that already.
I'm sorry.
I said you already see that
I'm
I'm into deep into sense of humor.
no, I really can't tell.
You can't tell I'm into sense of humor. You don't.
No, I'm just no,
You
no,
didn't
I
see that I have a
cannot.
sense of humor. Did I like to tell
Not
jokes?
yet. No, no. Honestly, no, I can't tell.
Why? Well, explain it to me. Why?
Well, then do people just start laughing when you speak? I mean, you're having a conversation and I'm just
You
listening to
done
you. I don't.
laugh a whole bunch of times since I talk, and I thought maybe I'll make you laugh, but then again, I don't know. You might have been laughing from where your mind works.
No, you don't know how my mind works.
That's why I say you may be. That's the reason to put may because I
I'm
don't know
just trying to.
what your mind working.
I'm just trying to listen to what. Basically, when I get on Facebook Live, I'm trying to get something out of it when I stop to
Mm-hmm.
do that. Because when
Well,
people
that's
go
what you
on
messed up at.
and
You ain't gonna get nothing out of it. It's full of shit. But it's what you make out of it. You know what I'm saying? And what you make the work out of it.
well, what I'm saying to you is that when I take the time to listen to somebody on Facebook Live, I want to hear what they have to say. So I'm focusing on what they're saying because apparently it's something that a point they're trying to get across. That's the way I look at it. I mean, that's with anyone.
But
And if they don't have a point, if they're just staring at the screen, or if they don't have a point of view, then I got to move somewhere else. I mean,
true,
that's just
true.
me. And I'm not talking about you. I'm just talking about in
Well,
general.
yeah, you've
When
been
people go
gone
on
if
Facebook
that's the
Live.
case. But hmm, yeah, but I just can't figure out all the observation you hadn't figured out that I had a sense of humor.
No,
Wow.
I have not.
Okay.
Because I'm focusing on you. I'm focusing on maybe seriousness.
Well,
And
hey, I'm serious, yeah, but I mean, but that's not me as a individually whole. I think the meanest person got a funny side. It may be 5%, but it's there somewhere. What are they?
well, if you have a sense of if you have
you
a
know.
sense of humor, if you have a sense of humor, that's great. I mean, that's
Oh,
great.
yeah, I
What
know.
can I
I
say?
mean, you acknowledging it because I told you, but it just
Exactly.
killed me because you
Exactly.
didn't recognize it off point, you know, for
No, I did
yourself.
not. I did
But
not.
and that's cool. You know that expedition is always self discovery. You run into things. But now I'm gonna have to get off this phone because my phone about to go out because it's
And
yeah
my phone says high temperature. My phone is telling me high temperature for me to get off.
yeah
I have never seen that.
yeah because I'm hot. I'm
Okay.
hot. That's why.
Yeah, right. That's true. Now that was funny. So let me get off because I don't know what it's saying to me. My
Okay.
device needs to
All
be
right. Well,
turned off.
appreciate you, and I will
Okay,
talk
peace
to
and
you later.
blessings.
All right.
Okay, peace out.
Peace out,
All
my
right.
sister.
Wow.
All right.